Sometimes the sky holds its breath, so we remember to hold ours softer too. This buck full moon, rising on July 10th and 11th, hums like an old friend who knows which ribs ache and which dreams still press against sleep. Some call it just a bright rock, but the Pleiadians remind us even a rock can crack old doors open when it glows wide enough. For 48 hours, something slips through the cracks, gentle as a sigh, but heavy as memory. Maybe you've felt it already, a restless shoulder, a thought that won't hush. This moon wants a word with you. What makes the buck? Full moon. So powerful. This year, you've seen plenty of full moons. Some pass quiet, some pull tides. But this buck moon sits different, heavier, warmer, like it's carrying stories older than our fences. They say the buck moon gets its name from antlers pushing through soft velvet, new bone breaking out where last year's tines once stood proud, nature shedding the old crown, one hush at a time. This year, though, that quiet shed hums louder. Storms came odd, winds bent branches wrong. Some folks feel the garden hum different when the moon's this fat. There's power in cycles, but more power when the cycle cracks open a door you forgot you locked. Funny how we think it's just light in the sky, but our bones know better. It's not just brightness. It's what the glow bounces off. Rivers catch it. Your window catches it. But this time, something hidden catches it too. Old worry stuck in corners of your breath. You might notice you sigh deeper near the window, or stand outside just to watch the yard hold shadows softer. That's the buck's trick. Soft light, sharp truth. And under that truth hums a small question. Is this moon really different, or are you different standing under it? Same round face, same hush. But something nudges old thoughts up from the bottom where they like to hide when daylight distracts us. Maybe that's why folks talk to the sky when this moon's full. Not for answers, but for permission to ask better questions. Ever wonder what old antlers dream about when they drop in the brush? Maybe this buck moon dreams too, dreams us awake just long enough to feel our own velvet peeling back. Some things don't belong next season. Might be time to let them slip off easy under this shy, bright watch. Why July 10th 11 unlocks a rare 48-hour portal. Most nights, the moon does its round, rise, hang, drift off behind tomorrow's sun. But now and then, it stands longer, hums wider. July 10th through 11th, 2 days that feel more like one long-held breath. Some call it a window, some a gate. I just call it a soft moment that doesn't knock, just waits for the ribs to open without asking too much. This portal, they say, rides on the buck's velvet crown, 48 hours when old regrets can wash softer if you stand quiet enough. It's not a door you walk through in boots. It's the hush you step into when your shoulders remember they're allowed to drop. Even the Pleiadians whisper. This is when Earth's quiet grid hums closest to what your dreams always knew, but your waking mind edits out. You might feel this hush at dawn, wide eyes, dry mouth, heart tapping for no good reason. Or at night, when the dog lifts its head at nothing you can see. Strange how animals catch the portal first. Maybe they trust the hush because they never argued with it like we do. Some folks try to plan for portals, candles, chants, long words folded into tight journals. But truth is, this window needs no ritual, but your willingness to sit soft. Not so easy in times like these. Phones bark, news howls. But the moon doesn't care for news. It only wants your breath slow enough for the door to swing without squeak. Isn't it something? How 48 hours can hold more real time than some whole years. That's this moon's promise. Slip through while the glow's fat. Let the door swing without the mind fussing too much. And when it closes, well, Maybe part of you won't need the door anymore anyway. Hidden meanings behind the buck moon's name. Names stick for reasons even grandmothers forget. Buck moon sounds simple, antlers and summer sweat. But underneath, older tongues knew this was the time when old wounds toughen up. Bone meeting air, raw but proud. That velvet sheds no gentle trick. Its new crown, fresh point, sharp edge where soft once slept. For us two-legged creatures, the old folks said this moon stirs the same, peels back what's soft, calls out the points we need but fear to grow. Sometimes that point's a word unsaid, sometimes a truth you've parked behind later for too many seasons. The buck moon's light isn't harsh, but it shows the ridge where you've held back growth out of old comfort. Odd how deer wear their wounds on their heads while we hide ours in our ribs. Same lesson though. Hush needs shape. Shape needs shed. Sometimes you dream you're the old antler falling in dry leaves. Clatter, hush, new bud waiting underneath. Or maybe that's just my old man's brain wandering where the moon's glow runs thick. Don't be surprised if you feel old memories stir these 2 nights. Childhood smells, first loves, voices that visit only when the air's too still for sleep. That's the buck's grin. It nudges the dreamer awake so the grown bones remember how they once pushed through skin too tight to hold truth quiet. And maybe, just maybe, you'll step out at night, see that round light hanging there like it's listening, and you'll whisper a tiny thing you've never said out loud. Not a wish, just a small truth ready to shed its velvet too. How this moon will shift old energy grids. Most folks don't feel the grid. Too many screens buzzing, too much chatter in the chest. But hush carries wires deeper than the poles out back. The buck moon, say the sky watchers, rattles that hush awake. Old roots under soil hum brighter, lines run clearer between breath and ground. 48 hours of soft pulling and pushing, like the tide but dry under your porch light. You stand on the step, coffee cooling, and you feel the soles of your feet buzz. Might just be your mind, might be the grid giving your bones a gentle tap. Hey, you still here? Good. Stay steady. Funny how we trust cables on poles more than the line running under our skin, back to dirt older than any light bulb. This buck moon's hush doesn't promise magic tricks. It hums a reminder. The body's a wire too, carrying old shocks you thought you buried. When the moon glows this full, those charges slip loose. Little flares behind your ribs, a shiver when you stand barefoot too long. Some call it nerves. Old souls call it the grid saying hello. Let it say hello. Let it tangle your thoughts if it needs to. Some knots need a good tug under bright hush, so they can slip free where the worry used to knot them tight. The buck doesn't break, it guides. Your only job? Let your own hum run steady enough to meet the bigger line when the moon calls it home. Ever think maybe the real current isn't the one in the wires, but the hush running from your breath to the next branch, to the next root, to the next dream? Might be this moon's only job is to remind you that you still light up when the world tries to switch you off. Dreams, sleep, and unexpected night signals. Sleep feels strange under a fat moon. Dreams push harder, slip weirder. You lie down tired but your mind drifts sideways. A face from 73, a song half heard but clear as daylight. This buck moon hums open that dream door wider than usual. 2 nights when the mind's fence goes soft, the hush gets through. You might wake at 3, heart bumping like it forgot how old you are. Or see small lights flick at the corner of your sleep, like the room hums secrets you don't want to wake fully to hear. Some folks blame the cheese, the dog, the restless bed. Might be. But maybe it's the portal tapping your ribs from inside out. Dreams turn odd this moon, not to scare you, but to clean you. Rinse leftover bits your daylight can't chew through. A word here, a memory there, a smile that drops your shoulders so soft you almost forget what day it is. Let the night work. Let the hush hum through. Some truths you can't speak wide awake. The buck knows. Older souls don't fight odd dreams. You just roll over, sigh deep, trust the hush to sort what your thoughts can't. Sometimes the best prayer is the snore that comes after the tear slips loose with no witness but moonlight on your pillowcase. That's sacred too. Hush doesn't care for tidy lines. And maybe tomorrow you'll rise not rested, but clearer. Same worry, smaller teeth. Same ache, lighter grip. Dreams don't fix you. They rinse what you don't need clinging to your sleep when the next sun knocks. That's the buck's final gift. Permission to hush while the mind untangles in its own sweet dark. This buck moon's glow doesn't pause at the window. It hums deeper. Through sleep, bones, backyard fences we think keep the wild out. Ahead in this video, we'll stand inside stranger signs. The tiny shivers that slip in daylight. The old truths that feel like they've waited all year to knock. You'll see why some hearts stir wide open when nature hums this clear, and how your quiet breath, your porch hush, your soft chest might just be the real door. This moon's been waiting to swing wide under velvet dark. Signs you're already feeling the portal's pull. Not all signs come with trumpet sound. Some slip quiet, like a tickle behind your ribs at 3 in the morning. You know that one. The portal folks talk about. It ain't just in the sky. It hums under your skin first, like the back porch creaking at dawn when no foot stepped on it yet. Might be you're forgetting little things but remembering bigger ones. A face from 50 years back slips through your tea steam. You stand at the sink, hands wet, and there's that odd hush again. Same hush that hums louder every July if you really listen. Ain't fear. Just old breath stirring up corners you swept too quick last season. Some feel it in their knees, or in the way their pillow's never quite warm enough. Might be the buck moon brushing dreams before the sun's had its say. Funny thing, younger folk miss it, too busy blaming weather apps for strange sleep. Older ribs know better. We know when hush taps soft, it's best to hush back. And don't expect fireworks. This pulls like a draft under the back door you thought you fixed with tape and prayer. You feel it most when you stand still. Garden hose in your hand. Fridge door open longer than you meant. Some hushes don't need reason. They just slip in to remind you your breath's been waiting for permission to crack open wider. A neighbor once said, "I swear the moon hums my name." Maybe she wasn't all wrong. Signs don't shout, they just nod, and you nod back. That's the deal, that's the pull. Soft handshake with the dark. Why ancient cultures watch this moon closely. Old folk knew something city lights made us forget. No screens, just sky and hush. They'd gather round a fire when the buck moon rose full and fat. No Google to check the date. Just bone deep, knowing this was the time to watch what breath did, when shadows bent just so under velvet night. They'd call it shedding season. Deer out there rubbing antlers roar against bark. Same time people set quiet vows. What old worry needs dropping? What promise wants birthing? Nothing fancy, just a hush so thick you could hear the river laugh at your secrets. Some tribes marked these nights with hush work. Soft chants, or just silence broken by crickets. No big show. Just people trusting the moon's round grin to rinse the grit off stories that clung too long to ribs. The buck wasn't some rare magic. It was a reminder that nature's scratch and scrape made room for new skin. Funny how we crave that same hush now, sitting by screens instead of fires, hoping a digital calendar hums what the wind used to whisper straight to our shoulder blades. Makes you wonder, Did they feel it stronger because they let the dark talk more? Or do we feel it stronger now because the quiet's so rare? It hums extra sweet when it shows up uninvited. Picture this. A circle of folks older than worry itself, sitting under that moon, nodding at each other's hush. No small talk, just hush. Maybe tonight's moon wants the same nod from you. Maybe that's all. How elders hold, this energy steadier. They say the young race to catch what the old stand still enough to hold. That's the whole trick, isn't it? Young bones tense up when the air shifts, but old ribs know how to exhale into it. This buck moon hush doesn't ask for your hustle, just your pause. Elders do that best. We know how not to rush a door that swings by itself. Maybe that's why grandkids look confused when they see us on the porch, eyes soft, no phone. They think we're doing nothing. Bless them. We're catching the slipstream, holding the hush so they don't drown in the noise. This buck energy hums wilder every year, but it bends softer around folks who trust breath more than clocks. There's no secret code, just small daily proof, watering plants with slow wrists, sweeping the same stoop twice just because the second pass feels calmer. Letting the kettle whistle once more than needed. Old hearts know these little hums weave a net hush loves to hang its weight on when the full moon swings close. Might be some young folks ask what we're staring at. Moon's just a ball of rock to them. We nod, say sure, just a rock. Meanwhile, our bones stand roots deep, letting that bright grin push old static right out the back door. Some tricks you can't type up. You learn them by surviving every season you thought would break you, only to hush it steady instead. Moonlight lands easier on shoulders that don't flinch at a breeze. This hush don't need new rituals. It needs your old grin, your soft nod, your permission to just stand there wide open. The role of nature. During this lunar window. Funny thing about nature, you think you're watching it, but half the time it's watching you right back. The buck moon cracks that door wide. Watch your yard these nights. Rabbits get bold, shadows move different. That's no ghost tale, just hush in motion. Birds go quiet at odd hours too, like they're listening. Trees lean different when that moon sits heavy. Maybe you catch it, maybe you don't. But stand barefoot on the porch and tell me you don't feel the grass hum softer. Same grass that's been here since your knees bent easier than they do now. Nature's hush always hums loudest when we hush ourselves. We forget that. Too many screens, too much schedule. But this moon opens the fence line between the tame and the wild. Not to scare, to remind. Might be your garden's roots hum stories you'd swear you buried with old tools and older grief. Animals know. They don't fuss. They lean into the pull. No questions, no excuses. A raccoon crosses your yard like it owns the place, because under this moon, maybe it does. Nature's not some backdrop. It's the rest of your breath you forgot to invite back in. Next time the wind shifts funny at dusk, don't run inside. Stand there. Let the hush sniff you too. Might learn more from that breeze than any book ever promised. What to do when emotions surge, unexpectedly. This moon opens doors. Not all doors creak polite. Some swing wide, knock boxes off shelves you didn't plan to unpack tonight. Old memories, raw nerves, small shame you thought time buried under garden weeds. They float up like driftwood in floodwater. Don't brace too tight. Let it surge. Some nights your eyes leak for reasons the mind can't pin down. Happens more under a full buck moon. That's not weakness. That's a pipe clearing out grit. You ever seen how clear a creek runs the day after a good rain? Same hush here. Sit with it. Cup of tea. Lights low. Let the surge slosh around your ribs. No rush to tidy up. You spent half your life patching cracks. Maybe this moon wants a few left, open to air out old shadows. Breath helps. Rock in your chair. Talk to the dark if you must. Nobody's judging but the fence post, and it's seen worse. Small trick, thank the ache as it passes through. Doesn't fix it, but it softens the teeth. A buck moon hush knows where to tug next. Might be your dreams, might be your bones, might be an old fence line you thought time forgot. Ahead in this video, we'll wander through why some bonds snap clean under this glow, and why some roots grip tighter than ever. There's a trick to breathing steady when the moon shows teeth and velvet all at once. And it's not written in any book, but the hush you've carried since you first looked up and called that round face an old friend. Relationships. Why some bonds may break or bloom. Moon pulls more than tides. Pulls on folks too. Quiet little threads between two hearts that thought they knew each other so well. This buck moon, with its raw antler hush, shakes loose knots that can't hold. Tightens knots that can. Strange balance. You'll see it. Couples bicker for no good reason. Old friends call out the thing they swallowed for decades. Not mean, just honest in a way the bright hush demands. Might hurt, sure, but some truths need that cut to find air, and some ties grow stronger in the same breath. Some folks feel it as a fight over small spoons and damp towels. Truth is, the real tug lives deeper. This moon don't break what's meant to stay, just snaps the frayed thread nobody wants to admit is frayed. It hurts cleaner than pretending, not cruel, just clear. Other side though, watch the quiet ones, the shy bonds. Two neighbours lean on a fence longer. One old friend checks in, soft voice on the line, warm in a way you'd nearly forgotten. This hush don't take everything. It plants too. That's the secret some never see. Isn't that something? Same moon, same hush, breaking brittle sticks, watering fresh shoots right beside the cracks. You ever seen how a branch breaks just right and feeds next year's fire? Same thing here, same warmth, same hush. How to use breath to anchor. This shift. Funny how folks forget breath's been holding secrets long before any candle chant or fancy pose. This buck moon don't ask for big show, just honest ribs willing to open wide enough to feel that quiet push behind the teeth. Breath's the anchor, always has been. Stand by a window, inhale like the night's not watching. Hold it just long enough for the shoulders to loosen. Exhale like it's none of your neighbour's business how old your lungs feel today. Simple trick. Old, but gold. Might be you find the breath slips shallow when memories stir. That's alright. Hush don't care about perfect, cares about true. Every slow pull feeds the bones better than old worry ever did. No need to count. Just feel the ribs stretch where regret used to sit too tight. Moon hums loud, breath hums back. That's the dance. Tide rolls in your chest when the hush grows thick. You'll notice the shoulders drop, fingers uncurl, jaw softens. That's the grid flicking on where you thought no switch lived. Little light right under the sternum. One breath at the window tonight could hold more hush than 10 clever quotes. Always did, always will. No fancy words needed. You know how. The power of silence. During these 48 hours. We live loud these days. Static in the pocket, headlines on the table, hum in the bones that never seems to hush. Buck moon's window, 48 hours, not for the noise but for the gap between. Silence ain't absence. It's soil for truth to root in. Old folks get that. Funny how folks fear silence, think it's emptiness. But lean your ear in. Hush holds more sound than shouting ever did. During this moon, sit quiet long enough. You'll hear your own ribs arguing kindly with the years you rushed past. A chair by the window, tea gone lukewarm, no music, no flickering box. Just you and hush swapping old secrets. Might sting a bit. Silence has sharp teeth when the mind's been chattering too long. But once the bite passes, smooth, clean as a creek after rain. You'll feel it, the soft spread of hush under your collarbones. It don't fix the world, but it fixes the small knot that news tied last month. Silence is a brush, paints ribs fresh. Sometimes the best prayer's the one you don't say at all. Just let the hush say it for you. 2 days ain't long, but hush never needs a calendar. Silence thick enough can rinse 10 years of chatter out the corners you thought nobody could reach. Old magic, old truth. Why your body may feel odd or lighter. Don't blame the stairs alone. This buck moon got bones humming like wires under frost. You'll feel it. Odd twinge at dawn, strange warmth behind your knee when you wash dishes. Hush moves through the blood different when the sky grins full and wide. Some swear they feel heavier, others swear they float. Truth is, hush don't pick sides. It moves what's stuck, lifts what needs lifting. You stand up too quick, there's that rush. Not age alone, my friend. Moon's playing tug of war with the grid under your ribs. Might dream weird, wake stiff, then soft. Same 20 minutes, different breath. Small price for a moon that hums old aches loose. Part of you wants to brace, don't. Let it flicker through. Old scars shift like river silt. Some nights the pillow feels too hard, then too soft. You roll left, then right. Same hush underneath though, moving weight from places you forgot you carry it. Rib to hip, hip to knee, knee to floorboards. Small migration of hush under the skin. Funny thing, next morning you'll swear you feel lighter, even if the mirror don't clap. Hush don't care about the mirror. Hush cares about your breath landing easy, clear. Simple as that. The secret message. Hidden in the moonlight. Some secrets don't hide. They stand right in plain glow. You step outside this buck night and the yard looks no different, yet your chest hums strange. That's the message. Hidden in plain shine, brushing your collarbones while you squint at the fence line. What's it say? Maybe nothing clever. Maybe just rest. Hush. Remember you belong to this hush too. All the old grief tucked behind your teeth, the tiny hopes you call silly. Moon sees them all and hums anyway. No scold, no promise, just a nod. You still here? Good. Old folks used to say moonlight heals what words won't. Maybe true, maybe myth. But stand under it long enough. Your mind drifts, your ribs loosen, old fears lose their fangs. Hush doesn't whisper new worries, just keeps old ones from barking so loud. You watch the shadows bend, yard hum quiet, fence creak once. You nod at the bright circle above, like an old friend who never needed your secrets tidy anyway. Some nights that's enough. No sermon, no sign. Just the hush you didn't know you missed. See it. That soft, bright grin over your shoulder. Hush brushing your ears warm. No advice, no blame, just hush. That's the message, hidden in plain light all along. Seems wild how a round, bright hush cracks ribs wide enough to wash truth through the cracks. Ahead in this video, we'll sit with what not to poke while this portal hums open. Things best left alone when velvet moon breathes this thick. And how tiny hands, simple acts done quiet, can stretch this hush wider than fear ever hoped to squeeze shut. Come sit with that. It's warmer than you think, softer than you remember, and it hums best shared. Practical things to avoid. During this portal, this buck hush wants ribs wide, not cluttered. So first thing, don't jam your days with too much chatter. These 48 hours ain't built for tight schedules. Phones buzzing, TV barking. Hush slips off when noise claws at every thought. Best keep it soft. Don't drag old grudges to the table either. This moon don't care for who said what in '89. You breathe easier when you leave old ghosts outside the door. Not forever maybe. Just enough for hush to settle its bones in your chair for a bit. No heavy lifting if your bones hum odd. Moon might pull your shoulders funny. Old folks know. Lift slow, bend gentle. Hush moves through joints when you're soft. It's not weakness, it's wisdom. Buck moon hush runs smoother in bodies that remember not to rush the bend. Avoid crowds if you can. Too many voices block the portal's tap on your ribs. A stroll down a quiet street hums clearer than 4 aisles at the market. Not about fear, just hush needs space to breathe back at you. One old neighbour swore, "Don't cut your hair under this moon," said it tangled the hush wrong. Maybe so, maybe not. But some doors better left shut till the moon slips on. That's the old trick. How small acts can magnify the portal's gift. Big plans won't catch this hush. Small acts will. A kettle left to whistle once more than needed. Socks folded slow. Porch swept even if no dirt shows. Buck moon leans into quiet chores. Small stitches in your daily cloth. Plant a seed if you've got soil handy. One sprout hums more hush than 1,000 fancy quotes. Elders know, seeds don't shout. They just trust hush to do what hush does best. Write a name on paper, no sermon, just ink. Fold it, pocket it. Let the moon grin on that hidden word while you stand barefoot near the back door. That's all it takes. Tiny thing, big hush. Feed birds, feed strays. Drop an old biscuit crumb where you know the raccoon hunts. Not for them alone, for you. Acts that slip past your tongue and land straight in the hush hum, louder than any speech ever did. Never underestimate one warm glance. This moon don't count the size, counts the hush behind it. Small acts make the portal linger. That's the real trick. This moon chooses who stands calm. Some think they pick when hush comes knocking, but truth is, this buck moon hums through ribs ready to hush back. Calm calls calm, like a river looking for soft banks to lean its secrets on. You stand calm, the portal stands longer. Doesn't mean you never fret. Calm ain't the absence of worry. It's the breath that knows how to hush it slow. This moon loves that. Picks folks with sighs wider than fear's bark. Picks bones that learned long ago that storms pass, but hush stays if you stay still enough. You'll feel it in your yard, in your chest. Calm don't need big shows, just that porch hush, mug warm, eyes soft enough to catch the shadows bending honest. Moonlight grins on souls like that. Never mind what the young ones say about manifest this, and vibrate that. Old hush knows it's simple. Stand calm when the round bright grin cracks your worry wide. Let it. That's the secret most never catch. Calm calls calm. This moon don't argue. It chooses you the second your hush says, "Come in." All this talk, all this hush, just words wrapped round a bright old face up there, waiting for ribs willing to stand quiet under it. This buck moon won't fix every crack, but it hums enough warmth through your bones to remind you the fix was never the point. Breath was, porch was. That soft grin that says, "Look how far you made it" was. Keep that hush. Hold it when the glow slips. You're still the door. The hush never needed perfect bones, only true ones. Rest easy. Let the round bright watch do what it came to do.